Imagine a warm May evening in Warsaw, 1983. A teenager named Grzegorz Przemyk has just finished high school exams. He's celebrating with friends on the historic castle square. Laughter, sunlight, a normal moment of youth. Then police arrive. They take him away. Within 48 hours, he is dead. The official story: he was a drug addict who resisted arrest. But the truth is darker. His death became a symbol of communist brutality. The fight for justice spanned decades. This is his story. But first, what really happened inside that police station? Grzegorz Przemyk was born in Warsaw on May 17, 1964. He was 19 in May 1983. His mother, Barbara Sadowska, was a poet and opposition activist. Just 9 days before his arrest, she had been attacked by unknown assailants. The family was already under pressure from the communist regime. On May 12, 1983, Grzegorz and his friends finished their final exams. They gathered on Castle Square, a tourist hub in the old city. Late afternoon, mild weather, laughter. The militia saw them, possibly because of their appearance. The officers detained them. Grzegorz was taken to the local police station. His friends were released. Inside that station, something went wrong. By early evening, an ambulance was called. The militia told paramedics that the young man was a drug addict, mentally disturbed, faking illness. But he was not faking. He had been beaten. The ambulance took him to a hospital. He never woke up. On May 14th at 1:15 p.m., Grzegorz Przemyk died. The official cause was not disclosed. Rumors spread. His mother knew the truth. Her son was murdered by the state. The regime began to cover up. His funeral on May 19th at Połański Cemetery became a silent protest. Thousands attended. The authorities watched. But they had a plan. The death came at a tense time. Martial law had ended only months earlier. The government feared dissent. Grzegorz's death was a spark. They needed to extinguish it. The regime acted fast. On May 20th, General Kiszczak coordinated a cover-up. The plan: blame the paramedics. 2 militia officers were initially charged as a decoy. In June 1983, a special task force began to obscure the truth. They fabricated evidence. They pressured witnesses. The paramedics were forced to give false testimony. In July 1984, the militia men were acquitted. The paramedics were convicted, not for beating Grzegorz, but for failing to provide aid. They were sent to prison. The official narrative stuck. For years, Barbara Sadowska fought alone. Then came 1989. The Iron Curtain fell. The new government reopened the case. The paramedic convictions were overturned. In 1990, Prime Minister Mazowiecki read the secret files. He was horrified. In 1993, a formal investigation began. But the trail was cold. Evidence had been destroyed. Witnesses had disappeared. In 1997, Arkadiusz Denkiewicz was sentenced to 2 years. He never served a day. The main suspect remained anonymous: Ireneusz K. His identity was protected for over 2 decades. The ambulance arrived at the station around 6 p.m. Grzegorz was unconscious. The militia told the medics he was a drug addict, having a fit. At the hospital, doctors noted severe head trauma. The official autopsy was suppressed. Professor Zdzisław Marek, a forensic expert, later revealed irregularities. The militia claimed Grzegorz had been aggressive and had to be subdued. Witnesses said he was peaceful. The contradictions were ignored. The system protected its own. The investigation seemed stuck. Then a breakthrough came from old photographs of a reconstruction. The turning point had arrived. The breakthrough came in 2006. Using photographs from a crime scene reconstruction, investigators identified Ireneusz Kościuk. He was the militia man who had beaten Grzegorz. For 23 years, he had been known only as Ireneusz K. Now he had a face. The case gained momentum. In 2008, the Institute of National Remembrance filed charges against Kościuk and other former officers, also against General Kiszczak for obstruction. In 2009, a court sentenced Kościuk to 8 years in prison. It was a historic verdict, but the defense appealed. In December 2009, the Warsaw Court of Appeals overturned the conviction. The reason: the statute of limitations had expired. The crime was committed in 1983. By January 1, 2000, the legal deadline for prosecution had passed. The court ruled the case was time-barred. The family was devastated. The prosecution fought back. In 2010, the Minister of Justice filed a cassation appeal to the Supreme Court, but in July 2010, the Supreme Court rejected it. The case against Kostyuk was dead. The clock had run out. In 2000, a third trial against Irenaeus K. began. He was acquitted in June 2000 due to lack of evidence. The verdict was appealed. In 2004, another acquittal, then another appeal. The case bounced between courts for years. Each time, the statute of limitations crept closer. Meanwhile, the investigation into the cover-up continued. In 1998, a separate probe against Kiszczak had begun. It dragged on. In 2012, IPN launched a new inquiry into communist officials for obliterating traces and falsifying the case. But again, the statute of limitations loomed. The system that killed him now protected his killers through time. Would anyone ever be held accountable? Today, the case of Grzegorz Przemyk remains a symbol of communist impunity. No one has ever served a sentence for his death. In 2007, President Lech Kaczynski awarded him the Knight's Cross of the Order of Polonia Restituta, a symbolic honor but not justice. In 2013, the European Court of Human Rights ruled that Polish investigations were not deliberately delayed. That closed the door to international remedy. In 2018, President Andrzej Duda laid a wreath at his memorial. The gesture acknowledged the tragedy, but the perpetrators walked free. The investigation into Kiszczak and other officials ended without convictions, again due to the passage of time. Unanswered questions linger. Who gave the order? Was it a planned attack? The exact details of the beating remain unknown. The paramedics' coerced testimony was later recanted. The militia officers maintained silence. The full truth may never emerge. In 2025, a new article revisited the case, highlighting the enduring pain and the lack of closure. A film in 2021, Żeby nie było śladów, brought the story to a new generation. But the gap in justice persists. The case is a reminder. Without accountability, wounds never heal. The death of a teenager on a summer evening in Warsaw remains an open wound. A teenager celebrating his graduation, a police station, a beating, a death, and a cover-up that spanned decades. The story of Grzegorz Przemyk is not just a crime. It is a testament to how far a regime will go to protect its own. His mother never saw justice, but she made sure the world would remember. Today, his name is carved into Polish memory. But the questions remain. Who exactly struck the fatal blow? Who gave the order? The answers may never come, yet his story continues to demand attention. It is a warning about power without accountability. Thank you for listening. If you want to see more true crime investigations from history, subscribe to this channel. Share this video. Let the truth echo, because sometimes the only justice is the refusal to forget. Subscribe and help keep these stories alive.